What happens to romantic relationships during Mercury retrograde? Here's a survival guide of what you can do for a relationship during Mercury retrograde. I am Vaishali Nikhade, an engineer turned psychic. Watch, take notes, and learn so that you too can leverage the power of stars in your love life. Relationships in Mercury retrograde. Hello, everybody. This is Vaishali Nikhade, and today I am going to share a little bit of information about how Mercury retrograde can impact relationships. In particular, we are going to look at love relationships or romantic relationships. So, Mercury retrograde is all about the period during which Mercury, the planet, is retrograde, and it happens about 3-4 times a year. It's around 3 weeks. That is the time frame of how long the retrograde period lasts. So, as far as the length of the Mercury retrograde is concerned, the length is about it's around 3 weeks and plus minus a few days. Every time Mercury goes retrograde, it is going to go retro in a different sign. So there are 12 signs of the zodiac, and every time it goes retrograde, it is placed in a different sign. So if you were to look at the astrological chart for the moment or at the time when Mercury goes retrograde, then every time it will be retro in a different sign. Sometimes it can be retro in one sign. So there are 12 signs of the zodiac, and sometimes it can be, let's say that this is sign 1 and this is sign 2, and this is sign 3, for instance. So let's say we start with Aries. So let's say this is Aries, this is Taurus, and this is Gemini. So if let's say that Mercury is in Taurus, just as an example, and it goes retro in Taurus, so it can either, depending on how far it has moved in Taurus or how early it has moved in Taurus in the retrograde period, it can either stay in Taurus or it can even go back to Aries. And depending on the sign in which it goes in, it is going to impact or influence certain things in a different way. So as far as the impact of Mercury retro is concerned, it is going to depend on the time during which the Mercury retro happens. And in essence, it's going to be kind of partially influenced by the sign in which it happens. And because it's going to happen in a different sign every time, you're going to see like different kind of results. The essence of the result is going to be the same, or the core is going to be the same, but how it shows up or the way in which it shows up, it is going to be different. So we are looking at relationships, and one of the aspects of Mercury retrograde is that it kind of puts a spin on something that has happened before, like something from the past. So a lot of times what would happen is a person from the past would come back. So let's say that you had this relationship here and then there was a breakup, and then you go into a period of Mercury retro. It's possible that this person may kind of come back. That doesn't mean they would stay, but it's possible that they may come back. And typically, when such a thing happens that this person tries to ping you or comes back, it's more likely to happen in a retrograde period. One of the other aspects is that Mercury retro is also a time for introspection. So, as a person, you may speculate on something that happened before. So, just like I drew the example, which I just erased about this person coming back, you may have some unanswered questions or an open chapter about something that happened in the past. So, if that is the case, then you may yourself kind of think about wanting or needing some answers. And we are going to look at a case study here for a client called Erica. So, as a psychic, I come across a lot of different clients that I read, and some of these clients have questions about relationships. Now, a lot of these questions are about existing relationships, like if they're already in a relationship, if they have met someone. So, that is like one segment of the people. Another segment of the people is people who have had something which hasn't worked out in the past. And then they're looking for something new, or they're unsure about whether or not this past thing is going to come back in the present and things are going to move forward, or it's a done thing kind of a thing. So, Erica, this is a fictitious name if you haven't figured that out by now. Erica is one of my clients, and she came to me during the Mercury retrograde period. And during this period, she had a question about past relationships, or one past relationship in particular, and she had some unanswered question about that relationship. So, in essence, what was happening is this past relationship, it wasn't helping her to move forward. So, let's say that this is the present time. So, let's say that we are here, this is the present time or the present moment, and the past relationship is something that had already happened here. Like this relationship had already taken place in the past, and obviously there was a period of lull, nothing happened. And we are here today, and during this time, Mercury is retrograde. So this is your Mercury retrograde period. And then she comes to me here after the Mercury retro starts. So let's say that to be technically correct, let's say Mercury retro started here. So Mercury retro started here, and then she comes to me during this time, during which Mercury is already retro. And she has a question about this past person. And like I mentioned, there are some unresolved answers that she is looking for. So as a psychic, you can kind of look into the energy and give information about what you are seeing. And one piece of information that came through is like what she can do. So it's in essence, she was seeking closure. Like I mentioned, the relationship was already something from the past, and there were some unresolved issues or open chapters which needed to be closed. And when you work with the stars, you can kind of get guidance in terms of what the next step is in order to move forward. Stars are used or were used and are used as a source of guidance. Like if you look at the history long time back, before all these electronic systems and GPSs came into existence, people would just use the stars for guidance. And based on the stars, they would kind of use navigation for the ships and even travelers and so on. In fact, I have a freebie I'm going to attach to this video, and you can check the freebie out where you can see how you can use stars for guidance and how they can influence and impact your love life. So, uh, like I mentioned before, for Erica, she wanted some closure, and then based on the stars, I gave her some information on some spiritual practices that she could perform. These are very, very simple things which you can do. And in her particular reading or in her particular prediction, there was like a small change she had to make, which she could probably do on a daily basis. And if she did that on a daily basis, she would see a change. Now, closure can mean a lot of different things for different people. Sometimes it could mean that the person may actually come back physically in your life, and you may have an interaction with the person, and you may get the answer that you're looking for. So that could be like one thing. That could be a form of closure. Another form of closure could be like you just see a sign, and you can see signs in different ways. You see a sign, and that sign can tell you or give you the information you need that, okay, this is the answer to the question I'm looking for. So when it happens, you will definitely know, because that is the answer that you are seeking. So in particular, after doing these spiritual practices or doing like maybe a small meditation um, every day, she's going to see an answer. Within the first week itself, she saw a change, and she saw some sign about an answer as to what it is that she was seeking in terms of the question. So that's what it is for relationships in Mercury retrograde. In essence, what the retrograde period does is it kind of brings back the past in the present, kind of thinking about the past or reflecting upon the past or having an internal conversation about the past. And then you're still seeking answers, or you want to know some answers, and then you're trying to see how you can move forward from whatever it is that was unanswered or an open chapter or unclosed chapter. So based on the information that you learned in this video, this is an exercise that you can perform for yourself and see if you went through something similar, which is find a past retrograde period. So the easiest way is to go on Google and search for Mercury retrograde and then just look at different dates during which Mercury was retro, and then see if you had a similar experience where you were internally seeking answers about something that had happened in the past. Another way you can do this exercise is if you already know that, okay, in the month of May, you were just constantly seeking answers, and let's say the year was 2022, then you can just go back to May 2022 and then see if Mercury was retrograde during that period. And then that will also kind of work the reverse way. So you will kind of find out if Mercury was retro during that period. So that's the homework or exercise for you. And if you have any other questions, then please feel free to post them in the chat or in the comments. And if you have any other suggestions for videos, I'll look at the chat and create videos based on your suggestions. And don't forget to check out the next video about Mercury retrograde for new relationships. I'll see you in the next video. So you're a single woman, not getting nearly as many quality dates as you'd like, and you just can't figure out why, no matter how hard you try. Well, let me show you why. You're not leveraging the power of the stars. Stars were used for navigation in ancient times, and you too can use these stars as a GPS for you to guide you to move forward in your love life. I'm Vaishali Nikhare, an engineer turned psychic, and I would like to introduce you to the 5 elements of cosmic secrets that influence your search. I have a free guide for you called Cosmic Secrets, and in this free guide, I share each of the 5 elements that can help you fast track your search. You can work on one element per day and get to know how the stars can give you a jump start. When you're done, you can message me via email to take advantage of a special opportunity I may have for you to continue to get guidance from the stars. So click the link below and get started knowing the details of the cosmic secrets that can change your life.